Hey, I'm Noah, and today I'm going to be talking about silence. So what's the value of silence? According to Epictetus, silence should be our general rule. But why, and what does that even mean? So basically what it means to have silence as your general rule is to avoid talking unnecessarily, and if you have the choice between talking and silence, you're going to default to silence. It really requires you to think about what's even worth saying in the first place, and keeping your speech to only that. And this is helpful for a few reasons, mostly because it keeps you from saying something that you're going to regret, saying something unnecessary out of emotion, anything like that. Silence forces you to stop and think about it for a second and realize that maybe it's not worth saying and you should just keep it to yourself. Really, the goal is to keep yourself from getting angry and keep yourself from doing anything wrong in regards to talking to other people, your interactions with other people. You want your interactions to be intentional and thought out and not just emotional, irrational, and just plain stupid. You really just have to stop and think to yourself, is this even worth saying? What does the world gain from me even saying this? That should keep you away from snarky comments. That should keep you away from placing blame. Blame doesn't do anything. There's no need for blame. It only makes you more angry at other people. Even if someone is rude to you, even if they have never provided you any kindness, why would you want to provide anything but kindness in return? Would you like to sink to the same level as this person, or would you like to be a good person regardless of what they do? And that decision, that constant decision making required to be kind without receiving any kindness in return, that requires some silence, that requires some thinking about if you're getting too emotional, about if your decision is rational, and just about calming yourself down and being kind. And you have to realize with people, if someone does something wrong, including you, they thought they were making the best decision for whatever reason. And you have to recognize that and realize that their action is either a product of not being educated on what is right or not being able to prioritize what is right. And either of those things you can feel sorry for. Because if you feel sorry for someone, it's very hard to be angry at them. What you normally be angry at is just a product of not being educated enough on a problem, or perhaps you're wrong. That's always an option. Maybe you're the one not educated enough. And in either case, it's worth it to just step back, be rational, and be kind. Because either someone thinks they're doing the right thing, or you're the one doing the wrong thing and you just don't know it. And when you're part of a conversation that could bring out anger in you, or just a bad part of you, that's when you want to step back and be silent and just think about it more rationally, because speech can push you on. Speech can push on your thoughts, it can rile you up, it can make you more angry. But when you're silent, you're forced to actually just think and be rational instead of letting your mouth spew whatever it wants, because it becomes some form of improvisation when you're just speaking and speaking and speaking without any silence. Examples of these types of conversations would be gossip, which I completely avoid and just sit back and try and not even pay attention to what's going on. Politics, basically avoid that and just maintain a silence, because I don't feel like making anyone else angry or making myself angry or whatever. I just avoid that. Any adversarial conversation, silence can be a good tool. Even if it's just a conversation between you and one other person, silence can be an effective tool to show them that you're uncomfortable with the conversation. And silence makes sure that you don't actively participate, make it more adversarial, make anyone angry, yourself angry. Same thing goes for if you feel like complaining. Think about what complaining actually accomplishes. Does complaining actually help deal with the problem, or does it just project it onto somebody else and make you more angry about the problem instead of addressing it or ignoring it if it's out of your control? I would say that almost always complaining just makes the problem seem worse than it actually is, involves more people than it has to. It's just not a good policy. So before you start complaining, Try being silent first and think about, is this actually worth it? What is to be gained by this besides seeming more like an angry person and putting more emotional weight on external things, external events? And I know from experience, if you know a Stoic, or if you are a Stoic, then you may be more inclined to just sit back and be silent and only speak when you have something to say. I'm in a Stoic Discord server, and it has hundreds of people, and it's not overwhelming at all. There are random little conversations here and there, but it's not spam. It's just people speak when there's something to say. And that's really the goal, just to be intentional with your speech and not use it too much to the extent where you're going to start saying things that you haven't even fully thought through. And I know this sounds weird coming from the guy who's doing improvisational speaking about a topic, but I cut out the silence in between while I'm thinking about what I have to say, and I cut out the things I say that I think about more and then decide weren't good. You miss all that. That all happens because this isn't scripted. This is just me expressing what I know to you. So if you have any comments, if you thought I was wrong about something, or if you thought I was right about something, make sure to leave one, make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll catch you next time. But actually, for the outro, just to prove that there's actually a ton of silence, I'll compile all of the silence from this video and speed it up to fit into like 15 seconds. Enjoy.